All right. Good morning, everyone. I will call this September 13th meeting of the Ad Hoc Committee of the Industrial Development Board to order. As it appears, we do have a quorum. Move on to item number 2, public comment period. A public comment period, the Industrial Development Board holds a designated public comment period at each meeting. Members of the public in attendance may provide comments to the board or its committees during such designated time. No advance registration is required. Is there anyone here looking to speak from the public? All right, as I do not see anyone present, we will move to close the public comment period and move to item number 3, consideration of prior meeting minutes. All right, if you all take a look at the minutes, I see the date. I think this date is incorrect. I think the meeting was on August 9th. But I'll give everyone just a quick minute to review those. And then we can potentially entertain a motion with any changes that need to be made. Yep, the date was August 9th.
I make a motion.
Second.
All right, what's your motion?
To accept the minutes from the last previous meeting.
As written?
As written. Well, we got to make one change. You said was it the date?
Yep.
Okay, the date of August
9th.
Yes, change that to August 9th, and other than that, that's good.
So we have a motion by Board Member Wright. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, thank you, Board Member Haston. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, minutes approved. Thank you. With those changes. All right, moving on to item number 4, items for consideration. Continued discussion on mission statement, vision statement, and goals. So obviously at our last meeting, we spent some time discussing our mission statement, what we want to do. You have that in front of you. So there were obviously a couple changes that it sounded like we may want to make to this statement, but certainly a good start. Board Member Wright, if I recall correctly, one of the items that you had in the statement was it's great for us to collaborate with other entities, but you felt, and correct me if I'm wrong, we also want to make sure that we're clear that this board, this body, has the ability to do a lot on its own as well.
Correct.
If I'm doing that. So what I would say for today, obviously we want to end here probably about 10 till, is let's maybe try to work on this, and then if we have time, we can get to any goals. That was one of the items I asked for this ad hoc committee to think about on their own before today's meeting. So let's do this. Let's take a minute or two, just kind of review this statement, and then Board Member Wright, I'll start with you. Give everybody a chance to read this again, and then I'll start with you for any comments on this.
Okay. Okay.
And then just for as we're thinking about this, let me also read the function that we have on the website already, just as a reference.
Yeah, that'd be a good comparison. 'Cause this will actually replace that.
No,
No, we're gonna keep the original, but then add to it as a
right, because this is our
definition.
function.
Function, okay.
Okay, so just to refresh on that, this is currently on the Metro IDB page. The function of the Industrial Development Board is to acquire, own, lease, and dispose of properties to the end that corporations may be able to promote industry and develop trade by inducing manufacturing, industrial, and commercial enterprises to locate in Nashville.
Okay. So that's the original. This is just expanding on that to give it more definition. And this was actually a product of tequila, which you used the AI, remember?
Yeah, we came, yes.
Yeah, so.
And I was on the board. I don't know if you could read what I was writing, but
Yeah, I'm trying to compare the two, because it seemed like it was a more condensed version of this.
we did have a more condensed version. Do you feel this one is too long?
It's wordy, but this will be on the website, correct? So,
Yes, we
when
can
someone
put this
clicks
on
on
the
it, they can
website.
just get a full breath of what we're doing. Well, I guess in that context, it's not. Yeah, it's not.
And we do mention in here, it does mention guided by a commitment to excellence and collaboration. We strive to attract, retain, and expand businesses. So I like that because I mean that's part of what we do that contribute to the vitality of Nashville.
They had a transparency part in there as well.
Yep. Then we're talking about small business entrepreneurs as well. Promotes entrepreneurs, also job creation, city's economic and social well-being. But the collaboration piece was what on line 4 was an item that you had. You just didn't. I think you were saying you just didn't want to make it seem like, hey, we have to rely on all like.
Right.
But how does this sound to you?
Well, if you say collaborating with, let's see, guided by the commitment to excellence and collaboration. Do we actually have to include collaboration? I mean, it's kind of, we have to work with other departments regardless. So this is what our commitment is, guided to commitment to excellence. We strive to attract, retain, and expand businesses that contribute to the vitality of Nashville.
Yeah, you're saying take out collaboration.
So I don't see what collaboration in that particular sentence.
Yeah, I really like collaboration there.
Maybe
because-
it's another sentence that should go in.
Well, to me, right, we do have a commitment of collaboration, which
Right.
has been historically lacking, and I think it's really critical to rolling out the programs that we need to do. And I think having that as part of our mission makes it clear to people who follow us that we, in this moment, said that collaboration was really important and needed to be front and center in everything we do.
Right.
Fair point. So you don't mind the word collaboration?
Maybe not in a sense, but what it says to me, okay, who are you collaborating with?
Well, I think it was intentionally left vague because we are part of this, right? Is we have to collaborate with Metro, which is technically separate from us. We have to collaborate with MDHA. We have to probably going to be collaborating with the Sports Authority here soon, right? Like all these different public corporations and government entities, but also with the community and with community groups and CDCs and affordable housing builders and folks who've shown up at our meetings to talk, right?
Right.
To me, like collaboration is just really critical when we talk about this, and you can't just say it's with this group or that group. It is fundamentally collaboration as a value should be really important to how this board operates.
All right.
How about
Fair point.
Okay, so how about this? I'm hearing your point.
So you don't mind collaboration?
Right. I think the way it's worded, how about guided by commitment to excellence through collaborations? It says and collaborations. So it's like, when you say,
Committed to excellence through collaboration. I like that.
yeah. When you say and, it's like, okay, who's the and?
All right.
So, yeah. So now this says through. So,
Yeah.
thank you for, my
like
brain is working, my brain is waking up.
It took
Do
a
you want
while.
me to pour some of this?
I might need to take a sip.
Man, it's almost 9:30.
I know, man.
If you're not awake by now, what
It's
do you
not
think?
gonna happen. But yeah, I think it's just, that makes, just the changing of that word through collaborations, to me, makes it flow better. It doesn't leave it open to saying, okay, who? That's the first thing when I read it, I was thinking.
And that, you're comfortable with that as far as like, it still doesn't seem like the board, like we have our own power that we can do. Like we have the
We
ability
still have
to
our
do
own
things.
power, but we get
That's
it
right.
done through collaboration. Through
Okay,
collaboration.
perfect.
Yeah.
Like
Just
that.
like we just did.
Yeah, just like prime example.
Okay. Day starting off great.
I know. See, Quinn got the coffee, so it's like it's
Right,
not fair.
It's cold at this point.
She's juiced up. All right. Board Member Heston, any comments? I have a couple, but I'll start with you next. Anything in that situation, do you feel comfortable with through collaboration there?
Yeah, I do. A little bit of a grammar wonk. If we have through collaboration there, the very next sentence starts with through transparent. So
Say that one more time.
maybe just a word switcheroo. If we have excellence through collaboration, the very next sentence starts with through transparent. So maybe we reword the start of the next sentence so it doesn't also start with through.
Look at them. There we go. I like that. All right.
Well, you can.
With?
You also, right? It's like a little passive. So you can say we aim to create a dynamic environment that empowers entrepreneurs, promotes job creation, and advances the city's economic and social well-being or.
Oh, you're saying
I see
start
what
with
you're saying.
we from
What
the
about
beginning.
with transparency? With transparency and
Yeah.
responsible
It's the
stewardship of
clauses that-
resources.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With transparency. No wordsmithing.
Yeah, I kind of vice chair. I
So
like
you-
where vice chair was going about
Okay.
putting the we
We. Okay, where's the we going to go?
like in the beginning.
Oh,
So
okay.
you just strike that
So
first clause.
I mean, you
We
can move
aim
it.
to create a
Yeah,
dynamic
Like that's
environment
we aim
using
bam.
transparently.
Transparency.
Trans-
Yeah, that's what I was like. Yeah. With transparency.
We aim to create a transparent, responsible, and dynamic environment.
Okay, that needs to
Yeah.
be like a period at the end of that.
I like
Yeah,
that.
a period at the end of that, then start another sentence.
So
I'm liking the pen.
we aim to create a transparent, responsible, and dynamic. So we lose stewardship of resources, but
Say it one more time, vice chair, please.
we aim to create a transparent, responsible, and dynamic environment that empowers entrepreneurs, promotes job creation, and advances the city's economic and social well-being.
And just get rid of responsible stewardship of resources.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
that's really necessary either.
Yeah, we pick up responsible and it,
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
I heard you were gonna be talking. I wanted to come here. We trying to leave out words and statements that lead to something else of an explanation. So when you say stewardship of resources, like, okay, what's the resources? See?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which money do you have?
All right. Does that, Board Member Heston? Does that work?
I think that's.
How does that sound to you?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds good to me. I'm more about the goals and the systems in place to get this stuff done than the overall vision.
All right. Any other comments on this?
yes, I would
Vice
just,
Chair.
where we say Nashville Industrial Development Board in the first line of each paragraph, I would get rid of the word Nashville. Cause we're just the Industrial Development Board and that's not actually our name and it's gonna be on the Nashville website, so I just think it's a little, it is both inaccurate and redundant. Cause actually our name is much longer than that. And we just currently on the website call us the Industrial Development Board.
Okay. Fair enough.
Colloquially.
Yeah, like our full name is the Industrial Development Board of the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and
Yeah, we're
Davidson
definitely
County,
not putting all that
Tennessee. So like, it is not actually our name and we don't call ourselves the Nashville Industrial Development Board right now. So I think we can get rid of that. And then there's just like an end of a quote mark down here. that
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, where's the
we get
beginning?
rid of.
You said what?
Yeah.
Quotations here.
And then, yeah, these are the two times we say Nashville. I think we keep Nashville in the middle, right? The vitality of Nashville, yes.
Right. Because that's
The
not
other-
referenced in the board.
That's right.
So it was first sentence, Battalion of Nashville. So is that one, Quinn, or two? Two.
There are two times.
Okay. So X. Yep, here. Okay. That sounds good. I have one comment here just on my end. Appreciate this committee. Future. I would just like to include the word all at the end of, in the last sentence. Dedication for building property's future for,
All of?
For all of Nashville?
yeah, or all of Nashville's residents. I just think that's kind of been a theme that we've discussed is consistently is prosperity and growth for all of Nashville. Like,
Okay.
some people, I think this is my take, there's perception, I think that some folks have benefited, but not everybody has, right, with all the growth of Nashville. So
Well,
that's,
Well, if you say all of-
Geographically as
yeah.
well, right? So
Maybe-
you
yeah.
say all of Nashville and its residents, and you encompass the whole county
Right.
and everybody in it.
It's kind of like, if you say all of Nashville, that includes the residents, doesn't it? So you don't need to say and residents.
No, I think that the way I read it, and I think it's open to debate, and we could
Yeah.
clarify.
I say all,
is when you
I mean
say all of
everybody.
Nashville, like, I think, if you say all of Nashville and its residents, I think all of Nashville is more geographic,
Okay,
right? Like, as a place.
okay.
Because it'd be all Nashvillians if it's,
Future for,
yeah, I think. I see what you're saying.
yeah, it's kind of, when I say all, that means everybody automatically. But, I mean, that's cool. Yeah,
well,
so,
how do you want to,
I mean, that's
we
fine,
can
that's
word it,
okay.
I just think it would be great to have the word all,
Okay.
because I think that says, hey, some groups.
Yeah, I just think when you say all of Nashville, that just includes the residents automatically. But,
Would you like it if it's for the prosperous future for Nashville and all of its residents? Do you like that better?
The reason I want all with people, because it's
Okay.
like, you see what I mean? That's where I'm trying to get to, but
I mean, I'm not going to,
If you want all with people,
that's-
then I think it does make sense, future for Nashville and all of its residents, to move it there.
that's my take. But
yeah, and I
this-
think that flows a little.
A little better. Okay.
Probably so, yeah. I might change my mind in 5 minutes, who knows? But I do see your point about the all. It's inclusiveness.
All right, I'll just read this very quickly.
Okay.
Sure, I have this right. At the Industrial Development Board, our mission is to cultivate economic prosperity and enhance the quality of life for our community by fostering sustainable growth, strategic investment, and innovative development initiatives. Guided by a commitment to excellence through collaboration, we strive to attract, retain, and expand businesses that contribute to the vitality of Nashville. Period. We aim to create a transparent and dynamic environment that empowers entrepreneurs, promotes job creation, and advances the city's economic and social well-being. Our dedication to fostering a vibrant and inclusive business ecosystem reflects our unwavering dedication to building a prosperous future for Nashville and all of its residents. This mission statement encapsulates the core values and objectives of the Industrial Development Board, highlighting its focus on economic growth, responsible development, collaboration, and community well-being.
Quick comment. I think you left out, it was transparent, responsible, and dynamic.
Oh, yeah, I said transparent and dynamic. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Transparent, responsible. All right. So we got our function, have our mission. Do we feel like we need a vision of us, which would be a very short, like, sentence or two of what we're aspiring to be, or we feel comfortable with this for now?
I think it's included in already.
Oh.
Because really you could take
Okay.
part of that and make it a division.
That's true.
Yeah,
Okay.
you could take part of that, and make it.
Well, only question I have to this committee is housing.
Right.
So that's something that this board has talked a lot about. Obviously, we've done a few affordable housing deals. The board has expressed doing more, wanting to do more. Obviously, we have a meeting today devoted to affordable housing and workforce housing. My question I have to this committee is, if this is it, I don't see that in here.
Well, this is the entire goal.
That's right.
So, I mean, the entire, not goal, but we're gonna break it down into goals.
I hear
And
you.
that's one of the goals.
That's right.
Right.
But should we put that as someplace in our mission? Because that's something that we're focusing on. It's a question.
So, I mean, to Mark's point, I kind of think that's in here with expand business, but maybe we can.
Like, if we want people, if I didn't know much about the Industrial Development Board, this is a question to the committee. And I read this, if this board is saying, hey, we definitely want to do more affordable housing, workforce housing deals, we want to do more deals like Dominion, we want to do more deals like the Madison Station deal. You know, it's a TIF deal, redevelopment, but it includes affordable housing units as part of it. And that's something that's unique to this board.
And
If I didn't know
yes.
anything about the board doing that, and I read this, would I see that housing,
But
that's all,
I-
that's all I'm asking.
So I guess what I would say is I think, you're right, you have to go back to, and we don't have our whiteboard in here with our tiers of like mission and then programs and how you accomplish it. But I would be hesitant to put specific programs in the mission, right? Cause you wanna
Mhm.
flesh
That's what I'm
those
thinking.
out. As, you know, we have goals that we want, we're gonna,
That's right.
after we have this, then we'll set our goals and then we'll do the specific programs. And I do think, you know, we talk about innovative development initiatives and strategic investment, stuff like that, which encompasses that, I think, but.
Right, and to your point, I agree. I don't think we want to be specific. And again, we can leave this as is. I'm just asking that question. Do we feel like we need to put something with housing, not specific programs per se?
I mean, again, I think we
You're not a housing board.
do cover
So,
that.
I mean, I think several people already made a good point that you put that housing along with the other goals that you wanna look to help to achieve in Nashville.
Yeah, 'cause that's,
Just housing.
when you put it up in a mission, then.
Just a question.
Yeah.
I bring that out because this
Right,
board
yeah.
has said that's what, you know.
We
wanna
definitely
do
want it to
more.
go.
Sure.
It's just the mission is, see, this is a long-going mission. If housing gets resolved and everything's great, the goal of the IDB is actually for empowering growth, business-wise, and things of that nature. So that's just a portion of what we're going to do.
Any comments?
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree with the other two. I mean, my goal is specifically about housing.
Yeah, my goals are too. So don't worry, housing is going to be a big goal.
All right. We will get this done.
And I think we can also revise this as needed, because we're gonna have more guests come throughout, I guess, the next couple months probably.
All right. Well, we have about 10 minutes, so let's start with goals.
Wait, do we need to adopt this? Or are we gonna,
I think what make the most sense, we can present it to the board.
You know,
do we
next
need to
meeting.
like make a motion to present it to the board? Yeah. Okay, I would move that as edited, we present this to the board for adoption.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carried. Thank you.
Are you editing it
I
electronically
have it,
now?
you want this?
I can edit it over there and have it ready for your next meeting at 10, if you got it.
I think you can read my handwriting.
Okay.
If not, I've also got.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll work on all of them.
All right, so you said you worked on this, so you did your homework, so we'll start with you. Board Member Haston, if you want.
So I didn't know if we were gonna talk before or after Angie spoke, but I think my goal would be, I'm gonna read out a long thing, and then from there, hopefully we can amend or tweak with other people's thoughts, and especially after Angie speaks. But my specific goal would be to create a revolving loan fund to support small business and affordable housing creation that is not currently offered by the market or other arms of Metro. This shall not compete with the Barnes funds or the Catalyst funds, and it shall enhance other options that we know Nashville needs that are not currently provided. For example, low-interest loans for daycare or local retail that support small business. This could be funded through bond issuance fees, pilot or bond application fees, or potentially joint ventures with developers that allow us to share in the cash flow and development fees associated with those developments that can then be recycled into said fund.
All right, can you read the first part again about I just want to make sure I get that, create a revolving loan fund.
To support,
Fees. Yep.
yes, create a revolving loan fund to support small business and affordable housing creation that is not currently offered by the market or other arms of Metro. And I should say, like, the idea of that is to be in an alignment with the other arms of Metro as well. So we're not competing in these random silos.
All right, goal one. Do you have any other goals you want to share today? That's a good one. I just want to ask.
I think that can be broken down into other minor goals that we need to do, such as get the Industrial Development Board out of the mayor's office, or
That's a goal? Are you saying that's a goal for you?
I mean, again, it defines how we want. It depends on how we want to define goals, and I think this board wants continuity beyond mayoral administrations, and they want some more objectivity, again, beyond mayoral administrations. And I think that would require us to be out of the mayor's office. Similar to how the housing division is out of the mayor's office now.
Okay. Thank you for your feedback. Yeah. I won't comment on that, but I appreciate it, just for timing. But certainly, probably something that, as we move forward, worth further discussion.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what Josh say about the revolving loan fund. We need additional funds, the capital stacking projects. So that's something, dedicated sources of funding is definitely needed for affordable housing. I was thinking along the lines of increasing affordable housing stock. So we had a couple with the TIF projects come through.
Yeah, we've got about we've approved a little over about 650, somewhere in there,
Okay.
including the 2 Dominium deals and the Madison Station deal.
So one of my goal would be increasing TIF projects, awareness of it. Well, I guess, yeah, that would be to start increasing more affordable housing stock through the TIF program. That would be a goal of mine. And we would do that through awareness, website, application process, getting more developers in front of us, that sort of thing. Awareness, pretty much.
And your goal would be specifically utilizing.
Yeah, well, that's one of the tools we have, so we need to utilize the tools that we have to increase the stock.
Okay.
I'm trying to think if there's any other tools that the board has.
The tax exempt bonds, which is
Yeah,
what we did.
that was the other one. I knew it was
Okay.
another one. So those two, yes. So increasing TIF and tax exempt bonds.
So I'll start with yours, and I'll come back to you, Board Member Haston, and get to this maybe next meeting. So increasing affordable housing, how would you how do you feel we should measure that? If
It's
you
an
know
outcome.
today, like what's the like for example, we're trying to.
Before we talk about how to measure it, can I add to our goals list?
Oh yes, yeah. I was just starting with this one.
Well,
Then I was gonna come to you.
I mean, real simple. We just look at what. I mean, there's different numbers up there. Up to we need 52,000 units by year 2030. So we can put the measuring stick there and then do it by annual amount, and then say, okay, we're going to help with 10 or 20% of that number. So we could break it down like that as an outcome. Now, it's just off the top of my head.
Yeah. I was just
Yeah,
asking
yeah.
how to.
But that would be a way of measuring it.
What goes is like, how do you
Yeah.
measure? So same thing, and I'll come to you, Vice Chair, for your goal. So creating the revolving loan, which sounds great. How would we measure that? Have you thought about any numbers to that, or how we would measure that from a time, or put any time metrics on it? Because obviously, if you're trying to say it goes one piece of it, maybe we're not there today. Is put numbers and then a
So-
time to measure.
I think before we can even do this, we have to have a pathway to have money to loan out. So, and I think our metrics would be dependent also on the type of loan given. Like if that's given to a daycare, those metrics are gonna look different than if it's given as gap financing for an affordable housing development. So, I think if we're gonna break down metrics and have specific goals, maybe that's help subsidize 5 daycares in the next 5 years, or
Yeah.
or help give small loans, or help give 5 affordable housing loans per year. Whatever that metric is, we need to figure out how to fund those loans first. Which we can dive into that too, if you'd like to.
We can't. I don't think we'll have time in ad hoc today. But maybe we'll need to do that next ad hoc meeting.
The one thing I would say is, and Quinn mentioned this earlier, is there may be an opportunity to help get some sort of funding in our balance sheet in the next 6 months that this board needs to be prepared for. If the Titan Stadium is going to break ground in March, or whenever that is, I imagine the developers on the $1.5 billion development around it will also break ground around then too, or not around then, but within the next year to hit those timelines for the 2027 season, meaning they're going to need to issue bonds. So this board needs to be prepared to issue those bonds and capitalize on those bond fees should we choose to enact this program.
Thank you. Good points.
I would just.
Goals. You said you have some goals
Yeah,
too.
I've got some goals, but just to follow up on that, it's not just bond fees. I would think that we need to be ready with TIF fees as well. And I think that we need to be ready with pilot fees, because we don't, and bond fees, so that if there's an improvement district and any bonds come through this board. So those would be the 4 possible buckets right off the top that you would want to have fees for if you're looking at the breadth of financing possibilities on the East Bank and what may or may not roll through this board. I would say that in addition to these amazing goals, I would say we need to think about our goals. Some things, like if we were to raise money and to spend money, we can do on our own. Some things, tests, pilots, need council approval. And so we typically will hold a hearing, and then council approves it, and then we administer it. So on those, I would say though also when we look at, I would like a goal of supporting businesses in historically underinvested neighborhoods that would be welcomed by those neighborhoods, where you think about a grocery store or a daycare or some other business might not think to go into that neighborhood because it would be the first or a risk, right? But it with a little pilot help or some TIF help, that could be a risk they would be willing to take. And so I think when we're make goals set is also really important.
Uh,
But I think it is important too to differentiate on goals between things that have to go through council and things we can do on our own.
So can you give the summary of your last one? Is this, and tell me if I
So,
didn't get it
yeah,
all, supporting businesses in historically underserved.
Underserved and underinvested
Okay.
areas.
Historically underserved. Okay, I like that too.
So the pallets would actually bring money to the businesses, like at a low interest rate or something like that?
The pilot's property tax
Property
abatements.
tax, okay, so it's.
And
it's
that's-
property taxes.
While Vice Chair was saying some of those, like the TIF deal, right? Madison Station, that still needed council approval, but that came before us first.
Okay.
Then it went to council.
Okay.
A pilot deal, which this board has done, not any new deals recently, that would go to council first
Okay,
and then come to our board for approval.
okay, so tax abatement,
Mhm.
property tax abatement.
That's right. But still holds the same premise. TIF, pilot, whatever, still the conversation around generating revenue.
Okay, yeah, okay, now I got you, okay.
Either way.
I'm saying,
Uh,
it'd just be specifically for those businesses in the underserved
Yeah.
areas,
Pallet-
upzone areas.
Pallets are generally used for, like, North Nashville Transit Center was a pallet, the
Right.
Bridgestone building was a pallet, they're like kind of whole, like, parcels or carve-outs, things that you can carve out all the taxes for.
Okay,
Whereas a TIF is typically directly more related to the actual infrastructure and public good piece of it. So the sidewalks, the sewers, the, parks, the greenways, like up in Madison Station and Oracle.
Right.
And so when you think about sort of which fits which better, the sort of quick test in your head is like, is this something that can be dedicated or not? Is how I like to think about it, right? And if it can be dedicated, it's probably TIF. And if it can't, then you're looking at a pilot because somebody's going to
right.
continue to own it.
I would say tax abatements, that's a big deal, that helps a lot.
And
Yeah, really does on projects.
And so there's a lot of tools here. I would say certainly too, one of the things that's certainly unique to this board is the TIF deal. So that's, to me, I see that as a way for us to certainly do all of the items that we've talked about, like Madison Station, a redevelopment of a shopping center that's got a massive parking lot that's empty. That, live, work, play, park, improve development on a transit corridor, but also housing as well. And that's unique to the Industrial Development Board. Okay. Well, I think this is a great start. As far as, so these are great, and we can kind of talk through these more at the next meeting. Based on what I'm hearing from this board, at our next ad hoc committee meeting, what would you all, I think I have an idea what I think we should focus on, but let me hear from you just in the last couple minutes. Where do you feel like we need to go from here at our next meeting?
I'm trying to envision that whiteboard we had, because if we established the goals, the next step was outcomes. Was it outcomes or? Yeah.
And I think some of these goals revolve around getting prepared with revenue, having money as well.
Correct, yeah. True. Look, someone's focused on the website, getting the website up, awareness, application process, making things more visible to take advantage of the TIF program, the tax exempt bonds, because most businesses, nonprofits, housing developers don't know they exist.
And fees, like it's a
And
little
fees,
out of
yeah.
order, but I think that's gotta be up there.
Okay.
All right, so next ad hoc committee meeting, we're running long time, but maybe try to focus on our fees,
Okay.
if I'm hearing you correctly, because that kind of leads into
Everything else. Yeah.
everything goes to some extent in
And-
our application too.
And I know Latanya stepped out, and there's gonna be a lot going on in this building over the next month. So maybe this is a question for Metro Legal, but it'd be really helpful for the fee discussion, I think, to be able to see what is Memphis charging, what is Knoxville charging, what is Chattanooga charging, what is like Robertson County charging for these various programs, because I know we're like much lower than at least the big cities. I mean, we're like light years lower than Memphis, but we're lower than Chattanooga and Knoxville as well. And to know sort of where they're at as guideposts, I think would be really helpful.
And I'll ask Tanya to send out also with Memphis, which it'll have their fees in there too, but just kind of as we look at application process as well. I'm all about, you don't have to necessarily reinvent the wheel if there's something that you can start with kind of as a baseline. So I asked Latanya to send out also like the Memphis Edge application, which has their fees on it, and also the application that they use for the Health Net Board also, which was just recently updated. Not to say that we have to use that exactly, but just kind of give you an idea, of their fees, because that's another city too, but also the application as well.
We don't need to reinvent the wheel. No point in that, yeah.
Okay. All right, well, as always, I appreciate everyone's time today. Thank you all for your hard work. Great discussion. Super excited about where this is going. And thank you. All right. If there's no further items, I will call this meeting of the Ad Hoc Industrial Committee meeting to adjournment here right at 10 a.m. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you.